So we left off talking about the flaws in the state's case, and I'm going to go on to another one. So Mr. Naidu, the defense attorney for Tiffany, was already poking holes at the state's case today. For example, we already learned about the school uniform. Now, what was found, according to investigating officer, was a red jacket and a pair of school shoes, Tuffy school shoes. Now, we know that Jaden was seen by security 1 entering with a red school jacket, right? But I mean, he could have to. It's not unreasonable to assume that he could have duplicates. You know how kids go through school uniforms, they play, they get it dirty. So that for me is already, not proven that was what the jacket that he was wearing on those days. And it's the same thing with the school shoes. It could have been an old pair. We know that the red jacket was hanging in his cupboard. And, that wasn't concrete evidence for me that was a school uniform. I mean, we're still missing the other parts of the school uniform that he was seen wearing that day, which is what would be like the shirt and the pants. So that was, Mr. Naidu is already doing his job and he's doing it well. And another thing that I want to talk about is I want to talk about motive here. So I want to look at motive from two sides. I want to look at it from Tiffany's side and I want to look at it from the SAPS's side, because something is not quite adding up for me here. I feel like there is a missing piece. Now, if you look at the SAPS's version, what motive would Tiffany have to kill Jaden? And she is innocent until proven guilty, but what motive do you think that she would have to kill Jaden? Because right now, from what I'm seeing at the moment, is that she had him in a good school. And I don't know who was paying, if it was her or the father. We don't know those details. But what is the actual motive, do you think? Because I'm struggling. I'm struggling with motive. And motive normally comes down to the 4 L's. So it could be lust, it could be love, it could be loathing, or it could be loot. So maybe it was loathing, I don't know, but I'm struggling with motive. And I've been asking a lot of you in the comment section who are pro Tiffany and also against Tiffany, what do you think the motive is? And another thing is, if we believe Tiffany's version of events, that the SAPS framed her, what is their motive? What is their motive? Why would they want to frame her? Is it lust, love, looting, or loathing? And honestly, I believe that Tiffany rushed to the ball with her defense to frame the SAPS. I think she just should have left it at there is insufficient evidence to convict me. Because right now, for her to be framed, I went and I made a list of the people that have to be involved. So it would have to be the 6 SAPS police officers that were driving around with her that night. It would have to be the forensic investigator, the forensic photographer, possibly the pathologist, security 1 and security 2. It would have to be the transport driver, the dog handler, and potentially the child who saw Jaden come into the complex. Now, that is a lot of people. And let me tell you, people can't keep their mouths shut about certain things. To have all those people under such a high-pressure case say nothing is implausible to me. I honestly think that Tiffany should have gone with, the SAPS didn't do a good enough investigation and left it there. It would have made her side much more believable instead of this whole SAPS framed me stuff, because that is also something that I'm struggling to get to if I'm looking at this case from Tiffany's point of view. And we're going to talk a little bit about Tiffany's bail conditions. So if she is released, she is going to be released to the care of her father. I'm not going to name his address because I want to respect his privacy, and he lives in KZN. So she will be relocating because obviously the community are not very happy with her. And if her being in KZN, then she won't be able to interfere with any witnesses. And her father wrote saying that although he doesn't have a lease, he's got a verbal agreement on where he's staying, and he will make sure that Tiffany goes to court, and he will make sure that she stays in KZN safely with him. But the investigating officer said, hey, you know what? I don't think that is cool, because I would be putting it on KZN police to control her whereabouts. And also the community is not really happy with her. And that's when the petition was brought up. And that magistrate really wants to see that petition. And another thing is that the question of her working or not was still brought in, and her supporting her family. We don't know. Some people have said she's on paid leave. Other people said she's not on paid leave. We don't know the circumstances, but we do know that she is working and that she has no past criminal convictions. I think that's important because so far she's had a clean record. And this is one of the reasons why I do believe it's possible that she might be awarded bail. Now, that is the thing, is that we are left hanging because of holes in a police investigation. And like I said in my first video, these are holes that were, poked at by the prosecutor. And sometimes it's good in defense strategy, in court strategy, to get your bad facts out first. So that it doesn't seem as though you're hiding something when the defense lawyer comes and does his cross-examination. Sometimes that's a good strategy to get behind it, right? But it still does not look good. Now, that was day 3 of basically the investigation of the bail application. And yeah, like I said, I will be covering the bail application in its full, and I go live at night at 7 p.m. every night after the day of court to give you guys all the deets. So give me a like and give me a follow. And yeah, we still have to remember that there is a child that lost his life, and this child is being failed by the investigation, unfortunately, in my opinion. And it's not justice if the state can't prove its case. That is not what we call justice in South Africa. So I can only hope that they have more than what they are showing us. If we're going to continue to assert that Tiffany might allegedly be responsible for her son's death.